By the time I hit send on the family group text, Pavilion Rental is $178. Prepay is $15 per adult, due Friday so I can submit the permit. I already know who won't pay. I'm Nancy Ray, 34, the cousin who can fill out forms without calling 3 people first. I live 10 minutes from our town park in a small duplex, and every summer I book the same pavilion for our reunion. The town opens summer weekend dates on June 1st at 8 a.m, and if you don't pay when you submit the permit, someone else will snag your slot. I've learned that the hard way. This year I picked Saturday, July 20th, shade outlets close to the bathrooms, worth the $178 to not cook in the sun. My phone starts buzzing. Alice, my sister, 31, hearts the message and sends me $30 for her and her boyfriend within a minute. Lily, my niece, 16, replies with a sunflower and a "got it, Aunt Nancy." Aunt Greta, 68, sends a polite "thank you for organising, dear," and her $30 shows up under her name like clockwork. The money rolls in from cousins and in-laws. Green dots pop up with notes for pavilion, for shade and potato salad. Thanks. Then Marvin. Marvin is my cousin, 33. The one who shows up an hour late with sunglasses and a story. Charming when it suits him. His wife, Giselle, 32, is the kind who texts thank yous and actually brings the ice she volunteered for. His dad, Ricardo, 64, is proud and old school, a man who takes family as a complete sentence. None of that changes the ping on my phone from Marvin. "Put it on your card, we're family." I stare at the message, then at the clock. It's Wednesday morning. I set Friday as the deadline on purpose because the permit system opens Saturday, and I need the money in hand, not in the ether. Every year I tell myself I won't be the fallback credit card. Every year I end up typing my numbers anyway, because if I wait, the date's gone. I send a quick reply. "Hey, it's due before I submit, trying to keep it simple this year." He responds with a thumbs up and nothing else. I get up, make coffee, and open the Parks and Rec tab I've had bookmarked since January. The orange notice at the top says, "Summer shelter reservations open June 1st, 8 to 8 a.m. It's May 29th. I have 2 days to either mean what I said or fold. At lunch, I call the park office to confirm the process. The clerk tells me what I already know. Pay up front, no holds without payment. People line up early for popular Saturdays. I thank her and mark a reminder on my calendar for 7:55 a.m. Saturday, book pavilion, card ready. Friday comes. The payments slow but finish. A new cousin-in-law asks if he can drop cash in my mailbox after work, and then actually does. By 6 p.m, my spreadsheet has neat rows, names, head counts, amounts, and a paid column with satisfying X's. There's one blank. I text Marvin again. "Sending permit Saturday at 8 a.m, please send before then." He replies at 9:22 p.m. "You know I got you. Just put it on your card, we're family." I set my phone face down on the counter and look at my card in the dish by the keys. The decent part of me wants to keep the peace, to make sure our year doesn't end up under an unreserved tree because I decided to make a point. The practical part of me does the math. One person not paying doesn't ruin the day. One person pretending the rules don't apply makes me the bad guy if I hold the line. Saturday, 7:58 a.m, my laptop is open to the reservation page, the cursor blinking in the credit card field. The moment the clock ticks to 8, the page refreshes and the available dates light up. I click July 20th, Pavilion B, select Yes for electricity, and type in my card number. The confirmation email hits my inbox at 8:03 a.m. with a PDF permit and a cheerful "Thank you for supporting our parks." I forward the PDF to the family thread with a smiley. "We're set for July 20, Pavilion B, same as last year." Uncle Ricardo sends a thumbs up emoji. Giselle replies, "Thanks, Nancy." Marvin posts a gif of someone popping champagne. I set my mug down and open a new tab. A fresh spreadsheet. I title it Reunion 2025 Contributions. Names down the left, amounts, notes. I fill in the X's for everyone who prepaid and type pending next to Marvin. Then I change it to red, not to be dramatic, just so I stop telling myself I'll remember later. My sister texts me separately. You okay? Yep, I write. Pavilion's booked. I'm just done funding other people's stories. I hit send, take a breath, and close the PDF. The date is ours. My card is on the line. This year, the math is going to be visible. By noon on Friday, I send one more nudge. Final reminder, I'm submitting at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Please send your $15 per adult today. A bubble pops up under Marvin's name. Just a single winky face. Everyone else either already paid or replies with a quick sent. I add 2 X's to my spreadsheet for a cousin who forgot her husband in the head count. Next to Marvin, I leave the red pending. I put my phone down and start a load of towels just to keep my hands busy. Alice calls while the washer fills. So, did he pay? Winky face. She snorts. He's using you as the family safety net, like always. I set the policy, it's clear. And he thinks he's different. Her voice softens. Do not let him turn your boundary into a personality flaw, Nance. I switch the phone to speaker and fold dish towels. I'm not trying to make a scene. I just want the math to be the math. Then be the math. She pauses. Remember Grandma's cake? He collected $40 from everyone in cash and sat on it for 2 weeks. I wince. He said he was waiting for the bakery to confirm. And the bakery only confirmed after you texted him 3 times and Mum called him once. Then he forwarded the exact amount people had given him, like it was a favour. Alice sighs. Patterns. I can still picture the pink cake box with the gold ribbon and the handwritten paid sticker that didn't show up until the last minute. He arrived late with it like a hero. I hung the extra streamers and kept my mouth shut because Grandma didn't need drama next to her candles. My phone buzzes with a new message on the family thread. Aunt Greta. Don't make a fuss, darling. We're all grateful you keep us organised. I type and delete 3 replies. I settle on. All good, just keeping it simple this year. Prepay makes it easy. I add a smile and put the phone face down. Being polite and precise is a tightrope. I can do it. By 6, I've got everything but Marvin accounted for. Ricardo sends a thumbs up emoji and mentions bringing the grill tools. Giselle texts me separately. We can bring extra ice if needed. I write back, yes please, 2 bags. She sends a check mark. At 9:22 p.m, right on schedule for maximum irritation, Marvin pings me. You know I got you. Just put it on your card. We're family. I stare at the screen until his bubble fades. There's a version of me that taps back a laughing emoji and lets it roll off. There's a version of me that lectures. I turn off the kitchen light instead. My reminder is set for the morning. I already called the park to confirm the system. Pay up front or someone else gets it. No holds, no favours. Saturday, my alarm goes off at 7:30. I make coffee and open my laptop to the reservation page. The timer on my phone counts down in a blocky digital font. At 7:58, I type my card number into the blank fields and read them twice. At 8 kilo, the dates unlock and I click July 20th, Pavilion B, electricity yes. At 8:03, the confirmation email lands like a small exhale. I forward the PDF into the family thread. We're set for July 20, Pavilion B, same as last year. Hearts and thank yous stack up. Marvin drops a champagne gif. I add a looking forward to it and set the laptop aside. Alice texts me privately. Proud of you. It's on my card, I write. Again, but it's booked. And the math, she asks. Visible? I send a picture of my spreadsheet with the neat lines and the single red word next to his name. She sends back a muscle arm emoji. Around lunchtime, I get another ping from Aunt Greta. Thank you for organising, dear. Then a second message. Family can be messy. You're doing fine. I take that for what it is. permission to keep things smooth without swallowing the truth. I reply, "I'll send a note with what's covered. Appreciate you." That afternoon, I type out a short message and save it in drafts. For clarity, the $15 per adult covers the pavilion and basics like plates and coolers. If you pledge to bring something, please confirm by July 10th so I can fill gaps. It's boring on purpose, polite, precise. Giselle texts again. "Do you need trays? I can grab aluminum pans." "Yes, please," I write. "2 would be great." She answers with another check mark. There's a weariness in the efficiency that I recognise. She doesn't try to smooth anything over. She just helps. In the evening, I take the permit out of my email and drop it into my reunion folder, hard copy printed and clipped to a magnet on my fridge. A practical little square that says I did the thing I said I would do. The spot is ours. The charge is mine. The blank next to Marvin's name is still red. I text him one last time. "Glad you're excited. Please send the $30 for you and Giselle when you can." No response, just the quiet of my duplex and the hum of the fridge. I pour myself water and sit down. The deadline passed and the spot is mine on my card again. This time, I'm not pretending that's fine. 2 days before the reunion, Thursday, July 18th, I'm at my kitchen table with the permit clipped to a magnet on the fridge and my spreadsheet open, checking off who's bringing what. The gaps are filled from my July 10th message. Greta's got fruit, Ricardo's bringing grill tools, Alice is on macaroni salad, and Giselle confirmed ice and 2 aluminum pans without fanfare. The only red on the sheet is still Marvin. Pending. Alice and Lily swing by to drop off extra tablecloths and a box of plastic forks. Lily plops onto my couch and flips her phone around. "Did you see this?" On the screen, Marvin's post, public for the family to admire. "Covered the spot this year, can't wait to see everyone." A selfie in his sunglasses, the park behind him from some other day. My jaw tightens. I take the phone, screenshot it and send it to myself. "He didn't," I say. "He did," Lily says, eyebrows up. "Do you want me to comment or are we staying classy?" "We're staying precise," I say, even though the part of me that likes a tidy ledger is already making a list in my head. I turn my laptop toward me and start a new document. Pavilion Rental, Who Helped? Alice hovers behind me. "You're going to post a call out?" "No, I'm going to bring a clipboard." I keep my voice even. I pull the names from my spreadsheet. Everyone paid gets a check mark. Next to Marvin's name, I type, "Pending, see cousin." Alice grins. "Oof, clean." "It's not about embarrassing him," I say, and I mean it. He wants credit. This makes the credit real. Lily leans over my shoulder. "Add a QR code," she says too casually. I look at her. "To what?" "To his handle. Didn't he forward money to people after Grandma's cake through the app? I still have Marv F saved from that chaos." She scrolls, finds his handle in 2 seconds and shows me. I do a quick search and pull up a free QR generator. I paste his handle link into the field, click create, and a neat black and white square appears. I print the list and the code on plain paper and watch the printer spit out the sheets onto the tray. The hum feels like a drum roll. Alice laughs. "I love you." "It's not a stunt," I say, more to myself than to her. I trim the QR with scissors, slide it into a page protector with the list, and clip both to a small brown clipboard. I add a roll of painter's tape and a Sharpie to my tote. The tote already has lanterns, extra trash bags, and a box of paper plates. Basics covered, like I promised in the group text. I'm not the drama, I'm the math. Alice taps the permit on my fridge. 2 days. What time are you heading over? Early, I say. If I get there at 9, I can wipe tables before the grill crew shows up. Dad's got the chimney starter, Lily says. Ricardo texted him. She grins. Also, Giselle DM'd me about a playlist, so at least one person in that house reads messages. I nod. I can picture Giselle's efficient thumbs sending a polite check mark without adding extra words. I wonder if she saw Marvin's post. I don't text her. I don't need to triangulate his ego with her decency. Alice looks at my face. You okay? I am. I run a hand over the smooth plastic of the clipboard. He wants to be the guy who covered it. Great, he can become the guy who covered it. Alice reaches into the bag and pulls out the Sharpie. Write "thank you" at the top, she says. Because it is. I print neat block letters, Pavilion Rental, who helped. Underneath, smaller, thank you. Lily is already composing something on her phone. I'm going to bring a cash box for the bake sale vibes, she jokes. Kidding, kidding. I'll be on potato salad duty. No bake sale, I say, smiling, but bring your phone charger. When they leave, I walk through the house once, grabbing the last bits I know I'll want. Hand sanitizer, a stack of wet wipes, zip ties for the lanterns. I set everything by the door. On a whim, I pull up Marvin's post again. The comments are predictable. Uncles with thumbs ups, a cousin with a row of clapping hands. No one asks how much or when or to whom. I text Marvin directly. Hey, please send the $30 for you and Giselle when you can. Pavilion fee was $178. I covered it when I booked June 1st. He reads it. No reply. I put my phone down and go back to the checklist. The things I can control are in black and white. Tape, scissors, clipboard. Permit. The QR code square looks almost decorative in the page protector, a tiny portal that leads to the truth. At dinner, I tell myself what I've been telling myself for weeks. I'm not picking a fight, I'm showing the work. If he wants credit, he can have it, right there on his own terms, with a direct line to paying for it. I tuck the clipboard into my tote and zip it closed. My plan isn't revenge, it's visibility. I pull into the park just before 9, with the tote in my passenger seat and the permit tucked into a plastic sleeve. Pavilion B is exactly where it always is. Morning shade, the outlets still capped with those little grey covers, a few goose feathers on the concrete. I prop the permit on the centre post with a binder clip and start wiping down tables with a stack of wet wipes, one after another, until the paper doesn't come away grey. The lanterns go up with zip ties along the low beams. It's nothing fancy, just circles of paper that make the place feel like ours. I set out the box of paper plates, napkins, a hand sanitizer pump by the drinks table, and a roll of trash bags looped over a nail. Basics covered, like I promised. By 9:30, I hear the scrape of a cooler from the parking lot and the thump of charcoal bags. Ricardo appears first, a grill brush in one hand, a chimney starter in the other, 2 bags of briquettes balanced on his hip. Morning, Mija, he says, warm as always. He nods at the permit on the post. We're set? We're set, I say. Electric's working too. He glances around approvingly, then heads to the big park grill with a focused look that reminds me why the hot dogs always taste like summer when he's in charge. He calls over his shoulder, Marvin said he covered it this year, good for him. I just smile. Everything's accounted for, I say, and I mean it in the way that keeps my heart rate down. Alice and Lily show up together a little after 10 with a bag of ice and a small speaker. Alice kisses my cheek and starts taping a tablecloth, efficient as ever. Lily gives the lanterns a little spin and sets her speaker near the outlet, thumb hovering. Low volume until the elders are here, she says, grinning. By 10:30, a few more cars trickle in. Aunt Greta in a sun hat, carrying a bowl covered in beeswax wrap. She surveys the pavilion, takes in the permit on the post, and presses my hand. Lovely, she says. You think of everything. I try, I say. She drifts toward the fruit table and starts arranging melon like it's an art form. The big laugh arrives before the man. Marvin's voice rolls up from the lot, followed by the flash of chrome, a brand new cooler with fat wheels and a bottle opener built into the side. He's in sunglasses, one hand on the handle like he's pulling a parade float. Behind him, Giselle wrestles a case of water and a tote with aluminum pans clanking inside. "Look at this crew," he calls, clapping Ricardo on the back with one hand, making a show of it. "Dad, didn't I tell you? Covered the spot this year, we're taken care of." Ricardo beams. "Proud of you, son," he says, already crouched to build his charcoal tower. Giselle sets the water down with a soft thud and exhales. "Hi, Nancy," she says quietly. "Ice is in the trunk." 2 bags. "Thank you," I say, and mean it. I grab the bags with her and we load them into the cooler, the brand new plastic creaking as it opens. It's pristine inside, labels still glued to the lid about keeps ice frozen up to 5 days. Marvin is doing laps, shaking hands, calling across to an uncle. "We're set, people. Your boy handled it." He kisses Aunt Greta's cheek and winks at Lily, soaking up a few claps like stage lights. I take the clipboard from my tote. The list looks clean under the plastic. Pavilion Rental. Who helped? Check marks all the way down. Next to Marvin's name, neat black letters. Pending. See cousin. I peel a strip of painter's tape and smooth it onto the side of his cooler, just above the built-in bottle opener. It sticks without a bubble. Under it, I tape the small square of the QR code. Giselle watches my hands, then looks at me. I give her a small, polite smile and step back. For a beat, no one reacts. The grill pops as Ricardo's chimney catches, orange licks of flame lighting under the metal. The lanterns sway in the slight breeze. Somewhere a kid squeals near the playground. Then a cousin wanders over with a soda and reads the title. He snorts, not unkindly. "Oh, this is tidy." He tilts his head, checks and everything. 2 more cousins drift in, curious as moths to a porch light. "Who helped?" one reads, tracing down the page. "Nice." "Oh, pending." Lily is at my elbow before I realise she's moved. She takes in the QR square like a cat catching a red dot. Her mouth lifts into a grin. She lifts her phone, camera open, the little square framed perfectly on her screen. Across the pavilion, Marvin's laugh is a touch too loud. "We're good," he's telling someone. "I got us. Don't worry about it." The speaker hums softly as Lily's phone focuses, and the camera app recognises the code with a tiny yellow box. She taps without looking away. "Ready?" she whispers, just to me. I spoon potato salad into a serving bowl and keep my face neutral. "Go ahead," I say. Lily's thumb hovers, then presses. She raises her eyebrows as if to say, "This is just the beginning," and the first little chirp pings across the table like a starting whistle. The first ding is Lily's. She grins at her screen like a magician revealing a coin. "Cent," she says under her breath. $1. Note says, "Thanks for hosting." Another ping, then 2 more from across the pavilion. A cousin scans the square, laughs and holds his phone up. "Oh, this is hilarious," he says, tapping away, adding a trophy. Within a minute, the air is dotted with little chimes, not loud but constant. Someone's default ringtone does a cheerful bubble. Someone else's buzzes on the table. The QR code sits there, plain as a doorknob, and people keep opening it. Here, sir, notes pop up on my own lock screen as folks narrate out loud without meaning to. "Thanks for hosting. Here you go, champ. Trophy emoji, trophy emoji." I keep spooning potato salad into the big white bowl, sliding it next to the buns. Across the concrete, Marvin's laugh lands, then stalls. He checks his phone, lifts it, sets it down, picks it up again. The chimes don't stop. "What's that?" Ricardo asks from the grill, half amused, half baffled, as he shakes the chimney. The coals flare orange, heat licking up into the morning. Marvin forces a chuckle. "Wow, okay, I see you all just discovered tipping." He lifts his phone and waves it. "You don't have to. Seriously, you don't have to." Aunt Greta wanders over to the cooler with her fruit spoon. She reads the list all the way down, lips pressed together, then smooths a corner of the tape with 2 fingers. She says nothing, but she doesn't move it. Giselle looks at me, then at Marvin, then back. "Is this going to be okay?" she asks quietly. "It keeps it clear," I say. "People like to know where to send things." Another flurry of pings. Lily's friends, a couple cousins' spouses, someone's teenage son who probably just likes the sound effect. The notes get creative. "Thanks, host with the most." "Appreciate you, my guy." The tiny trophy shows up again and again. 2 aunts approach the cooler like it's a bulletin board. One lifts her glasses to read. "Oh, look at that. Who helped?" she says, peering. "I paid you last week, right?" "You did," I say. "You're checked off. Thank you." "So polite," she murmurs, tapping her phone to the little square. "Well, since he covered it." Marvin hears that and pivots. No, it's all good," he says louder. "Guys, relax." He tries a joke. "Didn't realise I was opening a coffee shop." The dings answer him. Giselle's phone stays dark on the table by the waters. She folds napkins. After a beat, she steps toward the list and lines up the bottom edge with the cooler's ridge so it doesn't wrinkle. Her face gives away nothing but concentration. Alice appears beside me with a stack of hamburgers and an arched eyebrow. "Math is audible today," she says softly. I shrug and adjust the serving tongs. The lanterns swing lazily overhead. The speaker hums a Motown song at a polite volume. Aunt Greta's smile, when Marvin catches her eye, looks painted on. "Hey," a cousin calls to Marvin from the soda cooler, phone in his hand. "Do you want us to reimburse you for the pavilion directly, since you covered it?" He gestures at the list. "It says pending, but I can just send for my 3, whatever you need." Marvin's jaw tightens. He forces a grin. No, we're not doing that." He cuts a look at me like I've rearranged his furniture. More pings. A guy from Ricardo's domino group, who comes every year, arrives, sees people scanning and laughs low. "Oh, I love accountability," he says to nobody in particular, then aims his camera. Ding. "Marv," another cousin says, holding up his phone. "Thanks for hosting." He actually says the words out loud like he's reading his note as he sends it. Man, that's what, like $100 already. People are generous. Marvin stares at his screen. Whatever number is climbing there, it's not the story he wanted. He pockets the phone, takes it out again, pockets it, then slaps on his sunglasses even though we're in shade. Ricardo, oblivious or pretending to be, opens his tongs and tests their spring. "Burgers in 5, he announces. He claps his son on the shoulder. "You're doing good, hee-ho." Marvin nods without looking up. The phone dings again and again. His laugh has no air in it now. "Okay," he says to no one. Okay. Giselle settles the aluminum pans by the grill and wipes her hands on a dish towel. She meets my eyes. There's a flicker of something that could be relief or warning or both. She doesn't tell me to stop. She doesn't ask me to take it down. A kid runs past with a bubble wand, the sweet soap smell cutting through the grill's smoke. The park feels like any other year, except it isn't. People are still arriving, setting down bowls, hugging, then wandering to the shiny cooler to read the list. A pattern I've lived with quietly for years is visible, printed in 12-point font with a QR code the size of a napkin. Marvin's cousin-in-law leans over to me. "Should I just send him for the 4 of us?" she whispers. "He said he covered it." "You already paid," I say gently, tapping the check mark by her name. "You're good." The list shows it. "Oh," she smiles, relieved, then carries her pasta salad to the table. Another ping chimes. Marvin flinches at the noise and looks up, scanning for me. Our eyes meet across the tables. He makes a beeline, weaving around a cooler, nearly knocking into Lily. His mouth is a straight line. He stops in front of me, close enough that I can smell his aftershave under charcoal smoke. "We need to talk," he says, voice low and tight. "Now." He angles us toward the grills, away from the tables and the cooler and all the phones. The heat hits like a wall. Ricardo's chimney is roaring. Grease snaps on a smaller grate where somebody cooked breakfast earlier. Smoke curls into my eyes and makes them sting. Marvin keeps his voice low, but it's edged. "What are you doing?" "Making the math visible," I say. I keep my hands at my sides. "You're embarrassing me," he hisses. "Family business is family business." "You don't parade it on a sign." "You posted that you covered the spot," I say, just as quietly. This makes it true. He laughs once, humorless. "Oh, come on, it's $15. You know I was going to send it." "You've had 6 weeks," I say. "I booked it June 1st. I sent 2 reminders. I called the park. There's no holding without payment. I put it on my card because I didn't want us under a tree." Again. His jaw works. "So you tape my handle to my cooler? You made a collection plate out of me?" "You wanted credit," I say. "People are giving it to you. They're sending $1 with a thank you. That's credit." "It's petty." He takes a step toward me like he expects me to argue. "You turn everything into a spreadsheet with your little check marks and your rules." "And no surprises," I say. "No rescues. People paid because I asked them to, before the deadline. I made a list to thank them." "Your name is pending because you didn't." He sucks his teeth and shakes his head. Behind us, a burger hisses. Ricardo calls for the salt. The dings filter over the smoke like birds. Marvin flinches at one of them. "You could have texted me," he says. "I did," I say, "twice." He scrubs a hand over his mouth, looks past me toward the pavilion, then narrows his eyes. "Take it down." "No," I say. He moves like he's going to push past me. I sidestep and let him go. We walk back together, a few feet apart, to the cooler. The list is square to the edge, the QR neatly under the title. Giselle's at the table sorting napkins into a fan. She looks up and then down, not inserting herself. Marvin reaches toward the tape with 2 fingers, like he's going to peel it. I do not touch him. I do not touch the paper. My voice stays low. "You said you covered it," I say. "This makes it true." He stops, fingers on the corner, and turns his head toward me. Up close, I can see the muscle jump in his cheek. "You are unbelievable," he says, "over a stupid park permit." "It's not about the park," I say. "It's about you telling people you've got it, and then I'm the one who actually has it. Grandma's cake, the raffle last fall, this, same pattern." He makes a face. "Oh, we're doing history now." "I'm not listing it to punish you," I say. "I'm saying I won't quiet it. People can see who helped." That's all it is. Across the table, Lily pretends to study the buns. The speaker hums. Someone laughs at a joke that has nothing to do with us. Aunt Greta walks by slow, glances at the cooler, at us, and keeps moving. She doesn't touch the tape. Marvin drops his hand and steps back. He fishes his phone out, checks it, scowls. The screen lights his face. Another ding. "Now people think I asked for money," he says. "You didn't," I say. "You asked for credit." "People are giving that to you, $1 at a time. If you want it to stop, pay the fee. Then I'll put a check mark next to your name, and the list will say, 'Thank you,' and be done." He laughs again, softer, but it still doesn't reach his eyes. "This is vindictive." "It's clear," I say. "I didn't tag you online. I didn't blast you in the group chat. I put a thank you list next to the cooler you brought and a QR to the handle you've used to collect before. That's not a stunt. That's names and amounts." He looks like he wants me to crack, to apologise or fuss, to be the one who smooths it over. For a second I feel the old reflex tug at me. The quick joke, the "you're right, I got carried away." The way I would grab the list and tuck it out of sight to make everyone comfortable. I don't move. Ricardo sets a platter down and claps once, loud. "Burgers!" he calls. People start to line up. A kid barrels past us to get the first hot dog. The world keeps going. Marvin shifts his weight. "You made me look like an idiot." You're a grown man, I say. If you don't like how it looks, change it. He stares at me a beat longer, then glances at the cooler, at the neat black letters next to his name. He opens his mouth, closes it. His phone buzzes again in his hand. You could have just asked me in private, he says, one last try. I did, I say, 3 times. I asked everyone the same way. They paid. You didn't. You posted that you covered it. This is me taking you at your word. He exhales through his nose, a hard breath. Fine, he says. Whatever. He starts to turn away. I speak before he can walk off, buoyed by his own indignation and the smoke. You'll be less embarrassed after you pay. He freezes, phone in his hand, the corner of his mouth tight. Another ding cuts through the smoke. He looks at the cooler, at his own name next to pending, then back at me. What's your handle? He asks, finally, voice low. You have me in the app, I say, same as everyone used. He already knows that. He thumbs his screen, eyes flicking, jaw working. The app's blue glow lights his face. The dings keep popping like distant popcorn. He exhales, taps, hesitates for a beat, then types. I feel my phone buzz in my back pocket a second later. The notification slides across the top, 178 received. Note, for Pavilion, the noise around us shifts. The pings keep going for a moment out of habit, then slow as people see him hunch over his phone as the list sits there absorbing sunlight and truth. He stares at his screen like it owes him an apology. Thank you, I say, steady. I step around him, peel the QR code off the cooler and lift the painter's tape from the corner of the list. I take the Sharpie from my tote and draw a crisp check mark by his name. No flourish, just a mark. Then I put the cap back on. Aunt Greta appears almost immediately, like a tide drawn in. She reads the new check, satisfied, then pats my arm. Thank you for organising, dear, she says, soft but clear. She doesn't look at Marvin when she says it. She moves on to the fruit like nothing happened. Ricardo is at the cooler with the sodas. He cracks a can, pours it over ice into a red cup, and hands it to his son without a word. The only sound is the fizz. Marvin takes it and nods, a fraction of his charm restored by muscle memory. Giselle's shoulders drop half an inch. She straightens the stack of napkins and brings the water closer to the drinks table. She's careful with her eyes, but when they meet mine she gives me a small, unmistakable nod. The line for burgers reforms. The speaker rolls into a song from the 80s. Lily drifts past with a grin and whispers, "Checkmate," but keeps moving before the word can stick to anything. Alice taps the corner of the list with satisfaction. So clean, she murmurs. I fold the QR square in half and slide it into my tote. The cooler looks like any other cooler again, except for a tidy page protector with a thank you at the top and no red left on it. People read their names, find their check marks and make their jokes about trophies, and tips fade to normal reunion chatter. Someone starts a game of cornhole on the grass. A kid tries to see how many grapes he can fit in his mouth. The day writes itself. Marvin lingers by the grill like smoke is cover. When he finally wanders back toward the cluster by the tables, the performance is smaller. He talks to an uncle about a car issue, nods at a cousin, hands Ricardo a plate like an offering. No one mentions the post. No one mentions the code. The story he's telling now is just a reunion. Food, family, heat, a soda sweating in his hand. I keep moving, restocking napkins, tucking the permit back into its sleeve after a breeze flips it, passing a bottle opener to someone who needs it. It's almost noon, and the lanterns look like moons in daylight. They'll glow later, but for now they mark a line between shade and sun. My phone buzzes once more. It's a direct message from Giselle. I appreciate you. That's it. No lecture about dignity. No request to take it down. Just those 4 words. I reply, thanks for the ice, because neither of us is here to write a manifesto. By the time cake rolls around, no one is scanning anything except the dessert table. Lily cuts generous slices and sends a text to the cousins' chat with pictures of sticky faces and an aunt asleep in a lawn chair. Alice leans against the post and exhales. "That felt healthy," she says. "Simple," I say. Just names and amounts. When we finally pack up, the air is thick and sweet, and the trash bags are tied off in neat knots. Ricardo douses the grill and scrapes it clean like he always does. Marvin loads his shiny cooler last, slower now, the bottle opener glinting on the side. He doesn't look at the rectangle of tape residue where the QR had been. He lifts a hand at me from a distance, not quite a wave, not quite nothing. I nod back because we're still family. At home, I tip the tote out onto my kitchen table. Lanterns, tape, the folded square of code, the clipboard. I slide the list out and smooth it flat. The check marks are steady. The thank you at the top still feels true. I wash the serving spoons, line them up to dry on a towel, and open the group thread on my phone. My draft from earlier in the week waits in the text box, polite and boring. I tweak one sentence, read it twice, then leave it unsent for now. The sun is going down. The park smell is still in my hair. I prop the clipboard against the fruit bowl and turn off the kitchen light. The apartment hums. My shoulders feel an inch lower than they did yesterday. The draft sits there on my screen, ready. Tomorrow I'll send it. Tonight the math is clean and everyone knows it. By morning the park smell is still in my hair and the clipboard is leaning against my fruit bowl like a piece of evidence. I make coffee, rinse the last serving spoon, and open the family thread. My draft is waiting in the text box. I send it before I can edit it to death. Next year is prepay only, no payment, no reservation. I'll bring paper plates, not my card. The bubbles pop up instantly. Alice reacts with a heart and adds, "About time." Lily sends a thumbs up and a trophy, then "I'll make the playlist again." A cousin replies, "Yes, please," and another, "Love a clear policy." 3 more come in. Works for me. Easy. Thank you for organising. Stacking into a little column of support. Aunt Greta chimes in. "Sensible, darling." I can practically hear her teacup click onto a saucer. Ricardo drops a short, "Gracias, Nancy," then a picture of his cleaned grill grate like a dad badge. The thread feels normal, light, grateful, already drifting back to who's got extra buns and who left a sweatshirt under the table. One name stays quiet. It doesn't itch like it used to. A few minutes later, my phone buzzes with a private message. Giselle. "Thank you. He needed that." No extra punctuation, no apology for him, just the truth in 4 words. I type back, "Thanks for the ice and pans, because we both know there's more under it and we don't need to write it out." I scroll out of the thread and into my photos, save the group shots Lily sent of everyone sweaty and happy, Aunt Greta laughing in her sun hat, Ricardo mid-flip with a spatula. I drop them into my reunion folder with the PDF permit and a scan of the list. The page looks good on the screen. Checkmark steady, one next to Marvin's name exactly like the others. I slide the physical copy into a clear sleeve and tuck it into the pocket of my tote so I won't find it crumpled months from now. On the counter, the little QR square sits where I left it last night, folded once. I flatten it, consider the neat black pattern, then slip it into the recycling. It did its job. It doesn't need to live in my drawer like a threat. Coffee gone, I wipe down the tote and restock it with what I always keep ready. Tape, scissors, a Sharpie, a few extra trash bag rolls. Basics, not bailouts. I pull up my calendar and set a reminder on May 29th of next year. Confirm prepay counts, no holds. Then another on June 1st at 7:55 a.m. Book Pavilion, card stays home unless paid. A notification slides across the top of my screen from social. Marvin posted, "Wild how dramatic some people get over small things. Touch grass." No names, no details. He tagged a local park. The comments are the same uncles and friends who always thumbs up his stuff. I let it pass by like weather. I don't need to argue my own receipts. Alice FaceTimes me on her way to the grocery store. You send it? Sent, I say, flipping the screen to show the thread. She grins. Look at all those hearts. Proud of you. She squints. He posted. He posted, I say. I'm not biting. Good, she says. Boundary set. Consequences understood. She laughs. Mum is going to be thrilled she doesn't have to call him about cake money ever again. From your mouth to God's spreadsheet, I say, and she groans at my joke before blowing me a kiss and hanging up. I take a shower, finally wash out the smoke, and toss my reunion shirt into the hamper. When I come back to the kitchen, the clipboard is still there, but it feels different. Not like a ledger I'm guarding, just a record of what happened. I slide it into the file bin with past year's menus and grocery lists. The stack is tidy, so is my stomach. The rest of Sunday unspools the way a Sunday should. I answer a couple texts about lost and found. Lily has the sweatshirt, someone's Tupperware is in my sink, Ricardo's tongs did make it back into his trunk. Giselle sends a final, next time I'll handle ice and plates, just text me, and I reply, will do. No triangulating, just coordination. In the evening, when the light fades the way it did under the lanterns, I step out onto my little stoop with a glass of water. It's quiet except for a lawnmower down the block. I think about the moment by the grill when I didn't flinch. Not a victory lap, just a new habit. My phone buzzes once more. It's a cousin. Appreciate you setting the tone. I type back, happy to, see you next year, then set the phone face down. Inside, I turn off the kitchen light and the room goes warm and dim. The permit on my fridge has a faint crease from someone's hand checking the date yesterday. The crease makes me smile. The day happened. People showed up. We ate and laughed. The math added up. I don't know what Marvin will do with any of it beyond the vague posts. That's his story to fund. Mine is simple. Prepay only, paper plates, no card. The boundary holds. The summer feels lighter already.